Alrighty y'all, welcome back to another video or live stream here on Let's Build Twitter. We are back at it again. This one may or may not be a little bit shorter, but I do have a plan for today. Hopefully we can get it done. So the first thing, we need to probably move this guy because it's not quite where we want it. But the first thing that I want to deal with is as we scroll down this list here, whenever we hit this animals in nature, it should go ahead and swap over. So we basically need to, I think it's called like an interceptor or something like that. Basically what we need to do is we need to watch for each one of these to come to view. So like for example, if smileys and people is in view and the animals is not in view, for example, or basically if smileys and people is in view, then we want it to be in smileys and people. And then if our animals and nature is in view, but smileys and people and the hamburger one's not in view, we want to be that, so on and so forth. And then the other thing that we want to look into is whenever we type in here, and then whenever we click on one of these, we needed to be able to display the image instead of the emoji because some of these emojis aren't actually supported on Windows. So then it won't work properly. We need to deal with that. So I have a couple ideas. Either A, we're going to basically have a paragraph tag that goes right over this that mirrors exactly what we're typing in here, right? And then anytime we click on an emoji, it'll read that emoji and convert it. Or the other option is to make a custom paragraph tag that acts differently, which is going to be the harder option. So let's just go ahead and take a look at how we could possibly do this. So let's go back into our emoji dropdown.tsx. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to put on some sort of watcher or something on each one of these IDs here, or each one of these H2s. That way we can know whenever they are actually in view. So there's this observer that is an intersection observer that checks to see if entries is intersecting, and then we can observe each element, right? So emoji drop down selector. So maybe we have an ID equal to emoji scroll area, maybe. So let's see what happens if we go ahead and just set this up and see what we can get with this. So I'm just gonna copy this, and I don't know if this is gonna work inside React the way that I'm thinking it will. So let's go ahead and just paste it in here. Observer is declared but it's never read. That's fine. So let's deal with this, and that's fine. And we have this observer, and then we need the callback. So the callback would be, maybe we call this, we'll call it calculate and category, because that's what we're going to be doing with this. We're going to be calculating whichever category we're currently in, and I'll just put it below here. So const calculate category is equal to this. And I don't know if this takes in anything. So if we come back into our Brave, let's see what the thing looks like. So it takes in entries in the observer. So let's go ahead and do that. So copy this, and I'm guessing the entries are just the targets, but again, I'm not 100% sure. So let's come back into here and let's make sure that this gets past the entries in the target or observer, and it's going to complain because, and I'm just going to go ahead and say any on this because I have no idea what the type is. I think this is like, I'm guessing entry is like a HTML element and observer is something else. But now let's see if we can at least kind of see when things go in and out. Is this still a problem? I guess let's just call this function. That way it at least gets brought to the top and it doesn't complain. Function calculate category. Okay, there we go. We'll go ahead and bring that up to the top. That's fine. So now we have our observer get an entry, and we might also encapsulate this into its own function as well, setting up this observer and then put it into a use effect or something. That might be something we clean up later. So according to this, we should be able to say observer observe target. So let's see if we can't get access to the target. So instead of list item, let's go ahead and scroll down here and let's throw an ID on this one. So ID equal to smileys and people, maybe, and let's see if this works. So copy this and let's throw it in here to smileys and people, and then element or null is not assignable of type element. So can I do this? Whoops, this might end up being difficult. So target type element or null is not assignment type element. Type null is not assignment type element. Is it because this could be null? Of course, We can't say any here because we can't say any. Okay, so again, not best practice here, TypeScript, but let's at least see if we can get something working here. So now I'm pretty sure what it did. So it says entries.for each entry, and then you do something here. So let's copy this, and I don't remember exactly what we did. I know I'm kind of cheating here. Entries.for each, let's copy this, and then let's paste it in here. So for each entry, and we'll just say any. Again, just to get it off our back, we'll get the element. Maybe we just console.log element, comma, and then we'll say comma elm, comma is intersecting. And let's see what we can get here. I know that there's some like finicky stuff with this, so it may or may not work exactly how we want right off the bat, and it's broken. Okay, so it's a TypeScript issue. I guess let's change this back to element. I guess we'll say element or null. And then we'll say if target is not equal to null, then it has to be an element. So right now it should be intersecting. Yeah, it's intersecting. And then it should stop now. The issue is that it just spams it over and over again, as you can see. Okay, I do have an ID, but I want smileys and people header or something. I'm gonna say smileys and people header like that. That way it's more clear what it is. We need to basically check if an entry is intersecting. We want to get the target, right? And then we want to get the target's ID. So let ID equal to element.id. We basically need to convert this ID into something else. How do we want to do this? Because we could do if statements where it's like if the ID is equal to, it would be smileys and people header, right? We could have like a let category number equal to 1. So then if ID is equal to smileys and people header, then we, I guess, say category number equal to 1 like that, and it's going to complain it is what it is. We do like the same thing if ID is equal to animals and nature header, and then category number would equal to 2. And then what we could do is say if the category number is not equal to, so if we move to a different one, then we can set active category to the category number. Again, I don't know if this is going to work or not. So now what we need to do is we need to add this ID in here. So our animals and nature ID is equal to animals and nature header. And then inside of here, we also need to grab our animals and nature. So we'll say let animals in nature element be an element, whoops, or null equal to document.query selector. And then this will be equal to animals and nature header. And then we'll say if the animals and nature element is not equal to null, we'll say observer.observe, and we'll observe the animals and nature element. So we'll probably go ahead and extract this into a function with the options and the observers and everything. Theoretically, what should happen is once we get out of here and get into seeing this header, theoretically it should switch to 2 and we shouldn't print over and over again, basically. So that did glitch out a bit because it sees both. So I think we need to, check to see if the previous one is completely out of view first and then set it. Maybe we make an array where it says let intersecting equal to this, right? And then if this one, then intersecting 1. So intersecting 1 is equal to true true. This is kind of ugly, but intersecting 2 is equal to true, right? So then we'll set all of the ones that are intersecting, although this should probably be an if else. So this probably needs to be an if else. So it's going to get kind of ugly, because we do want to check every single one. So there's probably a better way to do this, but it is what it is. So intersecting 1 will equal to false, and then we'll do the same thing. So this is going to be fairly ugly, but I think it'll work dealing with this intersection issue, because we need to keep track of which ones are active by looping through here. Else the intersecting 2 will equal to false. And then basically what we want to do is at the end of this function, at the end of this callback, every single time, we'll basically say, like, we might need another function, let find first true equal to a callback, or a function basically. And we'll say, like, for let I of intersecting and has any type, I don't care. Make sure this, I guess I'll say Boolean. Oh, whoops. There we go. Okay. Let I of intersecting, if I is equal to true, we'll just return, shoot, this needs indexed. So let's say for let I equal to 0, I is less than intersecting dot length, and then I plus plus. We need an index here, and then if intersecting I is true, we'll return I. Then we'll go ahead and do set active category to find first true, and this will return a number. I guess if it doesn't find anything, we'll just return 0, and then I guess we don't need the category number, right? So we're just going to set the category to the first one that we see active. I guess it wouldn't hurt to reset these to false every time, would it? Because every time this gets called, intersecting should... So the issue is that we're still resetting the other ones to false because it's if else. Let's see. There's a little bit of a glitchiness there. So there is a little bit of glitchiness, but honestly, I'm fine with it. I'm not that concerned about it. Yeah, we need to add the IDs for the rest of these. So this one will be ID, ID equal to food and drink header. Put the ID on activity. So ID, whoops, is activity header, and then throw it on this one. ID is equal to travel and places header. Okay, this one ID equal to objects header. This one ID equal to symbols, whoops, symbols header, and then ID equal to flags header. Now again, I'll encapsulate all of these into a function. I don't know if this can be a function that's extracted, so it is what it is. So after animals and nature, we have food and drink. So food and drink be an element, or whoops, or null equal to document dot query selector. I probably could have done a class on this. I could probably get a list of all elements, right? Can we say document dot query selector all? We could say let headers equal to, and this will be, I'm guessing, an element array or null. I guess let's just see what happens. We say header is equal to query selector all, and then we should be able to say dot emoji dropdown selector title, and we can grab the IDs off of them. So let's see if we can grab these. So we should be able to say dot that and then grab those headers. And then what if we say headers dot for each element? Can we say if the element is not equal to null, can we say observer dot observe and then observe the element? Okay, it's not complaining, so that means we can get rid of these. We don't need this. So that cleans that up. Now we still have all the IDs to deal with in these if statements, unfortunately, which we can just do this. And it'll be cleaned up a little bit at the very least. So that is okay, I guess. So then if ID is equal to food and drink, header, we'll say intersecting 3 is equal to true. So if ID is equal to activity, header, intersecting 4 will equal to true. Again, this is ugly, but it is what it is. If ID is equal to activity, travel and places, header, intersecting 5 is equal to true. There's probably a better way to do this. It is what it is. This series is all about just trying things and figuring things out. After travel and places, we have objects. So objects, header. That's why I did this whole series in the first place, was to learn and figure things out and reverse engineer. So whatever works, honestly. I'm not that concerned about it. If ID is equal to symbols, header, then our intersecting 7 will equal to true. And then finally, if ID is equal to, this one should be flags, yep. Flags, intersecting 8 will equal true. And it should reset these all to basically false. We'll return whatever we get, and then we'll set active category to find the first true. Let's see if we can get it to work. So smileys and people is open as we expect. Okay, animals and nature did glitch out a little bit. Food and drink, activity, travel and places does not work, so that means I scuffed something in travel and places. So let's take a look. Yep, travel and places header. Let's try it out now. Okay, now it's on. Objects, that one's really glitchy. Symbols and flags I scuffed as well. Let's see what's going on with flags header. Oops, flags header. I'm content with this. It's not gonna be perfect, but honestly, whatever. So now when we need to add on clicks to basically all of these that add this to the tweet or the post, and I think that's inside of a store somewhere. So we're gonna have to update the store with that, and also we need a way of actually mapping, which I'm not worried about mapping it I guess yet. Let's just go ahead and set up, we'll say const append emoji to post. How do we want to deal with this? We have the emoji, name there. It's not going to help very much. And we have the emoji image here. So I guess what we might need to do is we have the emoji name and we also have the current skin tone. So we could get the correct emoji. So let's go into our emoji utils and let's say export const get emoji character by name and modifier, right? So this will take in a name string and a modifier string. So basically what we'll do is we'll first search by name. We'll just go let emoji say for let e in emojis, and then if e dot of, oh no wait, it is, we do want e of, and then we want e dot name is equal to name. If this is the case, emoji will equal to e. So then we have that. Whoops. Let's fix this. All right, there. So then we have the emoji. So now we have the skin tone. We need to say if emoji dot modifiers, because if there's no modifiers, dot length is equal to 0. And let's also, I guess, just make sure if emoji got set. That's what it's complaining about. If emoji not equal to undefined, emoji or undefined. I don't know what your problem is. I don't know what the deal is. All right, so if we have an emoji, because it could be undefined, I guess, we will also check to see if the modifiers dot length is equal to 0. If that's the case, then we're just going to return the emoji dot emoji. So if there's no modifier, we'll deal with that. Let's also do this. So if this or modifier is equal to an empty string, we'll return this emoji. I think that'll work. Otherwise, what we'll do is we will say let modifier, that's fine, modifier number equal to convert modifier to index, pass in the modifier, say -1 because we didn't 0 index it, and then what we'll say is return emoji dot modifiers, and then modifier number, and then it'll complain. Then we'll just return nothing if it doesn't work, and this will return a string. Whoops. So we'll either return the emoji.emoji if there's no modifiers available, or if the modifier is empty string. Otherwise, we'll do this. And so let's just throw this in here for, just to be safe. So then we can return the emoji character by name and modifier, and we have the name, we have the modifier available. So now on click, we should be able to pin the emoji to post. Say E is a React dot mouse event on a HTML div element, I think. HTML div element. So we need the ID because that's going to be the name. So let name equal to e dot current target dot ID. Get the name, and then we will say let emoji equal to, and we'll bring in this guy. So get emoji by name and modifier, and paste him in, and then we have the name, then we have our current skin tone, and then let's go ahead and import this guy. We're pinning the emoji to the post. To start, let's just throw it on this guy. So on click is append emoji to post, which obviously just prints right now. So I think we changed that back to none, and it probably fixes it. So now we can, and I just realized I don't have Redux DevTools installed, and I don't think I ever got Redux DevTools working inside of Brave. And I don't know if I necessarily want to install Chrome on my newly fresh PC. We'll see. But We'll see if we can figure stuff out here. So that should be everything. So we should be able to append the actual emoji thing itself, whatever you want to call it, the icon, whatever, to the, well, we don't actually append to the post because we need to update current post. We obviously need a dispatch. So let's go ahead and bring in use dispatch. So import use dispatch. We also need app dispatch. Let's go ahead and bring in app dispatch. Let's I don't care, it gets imported at import update current post from our redux redux slash slices slash post slice. Let's go ahead and say I think I normally do it here. Let dispatch be an app dispatch equal to use dispatch. And then let's come back down here at our append, and we will dispatch, and we're going to dispatch and update current post. And update current post takes in, so name is going to be like post content or something like that. So we'll update content, and I guess we need the original content as well, right? Because we're just appending it to the end. So I guess we do need use selector and root state. Hopefully this doesn't scuff anything. We'll also say let whatever current post equal to use selector. We'll deal with it later. State root state dot post, and we're going to go ahead and say current post, and then what we'll say is come down here, and we want to make sure post is current post is a thing. So make sure our current post is good. And let me say value. Whoops. Value. And this. So if the current post, say let post content equal to current post dot content, and then what we're going to dispatch is let updated content equal to post content plus the emoji, and then we'll go ahead and pass in the updated content. So now the issue is going to be whenever we click on this, it should dispatch and work, but some of them aren't supported by Windows, so then it's going to look really weird and funky. So let's see if we can even get this to work and everything is working as we expect, and then we can move forward with dealing with the other part that the issue is going to be. So hello, and we put like the smiley face. Okay, nothing happened. So let's go back into the feed post creator. Whoops, feed post creator. I'm guessing the value inside here. So if we scroll down to our actual box here, text area, we have a ref. We don't have a value though, and I don't know if this will break. Value equal to state dot post dot current post question mark. So that's the case, state dot post dot current post dot content otherwise. And let's see if we can at least see emojis going in there. Again, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna overlay a paragraph tag. So basically we'll make this hidden and then do some other stuff with it, and then hopefully it'll work. I don't know how exactly it's gonna work, but yeah, now you can see we got this in there. We can type blah blah blah, put that guy, we can change the colors, do that, you know, so on and so forth. We can get rid of them. It works as expected. Now the thing is obviously those don't look like Twitters, and that's an issue. So what I'm thinking is we have a paragraph tag that we somehow overlay on top of the text area, right? So like a p tag with a class name equal to feed dash post creator dash post content something like that. And this is going to be dynamically created because we want the image of the GIF instead of, or the image of the whatever instead of the other thing. And then basically here, wherever this feed post creator input is, let's hop into there. So let's find this feed post creator input. So here, basically we have a font size 20, but our color will be like transparent, so you can't actually see the text. And so if we type, you can see nothing really pops up, but it's there. So the idea would be we have this paragraph tag, and we can do the same thing we did here where we have this value proposition here. So value is equal to this, and we don't really need this value here currently. So let's see if we can comment this out really quick. We don't really need this value here. I guess it is going to be an issue. Okay. But now basically if there's a post and there's content and we start typing, you can see that it's there. Right now, the thing is though, this is also not great, but you can see that it's not really over top of it. So we need to move it so that we can have this right over top, have the same exact size, everything like that, which should be pretty easy because we already have the input size. We do want to resize. So we know that the font size is 20, and I guess we don't really care about background color, but since we know the font size is 20 pixels, we should also know how big it is from like how big the text box is. So we should make the width equal to that if I could click on the right thing. So wherever our input is, so let's go ahead and deal with this. So let's go ahead. So we already put the post content on here, so let's copy this and let's come back in here. Now the other issue is going to be making sure it goes in the right spot, so that'll be interesting. So I'll probably put a background on it. So let's put a background color of like blue. I want it to be like outrageous so we can see how big it is basically. And the font size will be 20px, just like this one. And then the position should be absolute, I believe. And we might need to wrap this again to kind of make it work the way that I want. That might have done what I wanted, just like that. So if the question is, so if we go ahead and type in here, yeah, so the thing is we want this to be a width of however long that is, and we're pretty darn close to what we want already. So let's go ahead and see how wide this text element is. The width of this guy should be 507. So we're gonna go ahead and grab break all, and we'll see if this helps. So word break all. And we also might want overflow wrap. Well, let's see what this looks like. Yeah, see, this was what I was worried about, is that now we can't actually get the stuff that we want, but this is working. We don't need the background color. So now the issue is that when we try to highlight, nothing happens. What we could possibly do is make this font like ever so slightly bigger. That way it's offset a little bit maybe. So now, okay, still doesn't work. It looked like we had it. The other issue is we cannot see the whatever it's called. Maybe we still need value inside this. What if I make this background transparent and make this feed post creator behind it? So that's something I can try as well. So the input background color, it's currently transparent white. Let's make it transparent so we can see through it. And then post content, let's do a z index of like -10. And then this one, I don't think we can put a z index on this, but we can like try to put 100 or something. I don't think it'll allow us to do that. We can type. Okay, it worked. That did what we expected. Hello, my friends. Here is an emoji. Ooh, why did that get rid of the emoji? Is it because I'm overriding it? I don't think the emoji is inside of there. Although it should be, right? Because this is, if we go back to our feed post creator, it's displaying, we took the value out. I think we need to put the value back in and do this. That way, whenever we are typing in there, it's not breaking it. Whenever we, so it doesn't get rid of the emojis. So there's a small delay on it. So I don't think there's anything we can do about the delay. So we click on this. Click on this. Hello, we are still typing. It is working just fine, as you can see. So I think this is the route that we go. Now the thing is, as you can see, it doesn't line up perfectly. So, well, it also doesn't line up perfectly because we changed the font size, right? So we go back into the CSS and we'll have to delete these two files. We don't care about those. Change this to 21 instead of 20 and do that. Let's change the font weight because the font weight's different and I don't see a background color. So now it's just slightly off. So I wonder if we could either A, make the highlight text transparent. So let's try : selection on this. So we come back in here and feed post creator input : selection color transparent. Okay, that's not quite what I wanted. That's like the actual like color of the selection. So weird. So I guess we need background color, but I don't know what the background color is supposed to be, so that's scary. Hopefully that's not the right background color. Color transparent. Well, that's not quite what we want. RGBA. What is this? I don't know what color this is. It's blue. Sure. What does this look like? I guess what we could do is we could get rid of this for a second. I don't want to be able to see the tiny difference. I could move it down a little bit, but I don't know if that's going to help. But again, I don't know that that's going to help any. It's already position absolute. So like, I don't know like what you'd even do, like top 1px. See, now it's gone, right? So I don't really want to go that direction. Like, I'm pretty happy with the way this looks. The problem is just the selection. So yeah, let's try this. I think we might have found it. Someone on Stack Overflow posted this. Whoops. And if it's not perfect, it is what it is. This should definitely be darker. All right, this is my last attempt here before probably call it. That's way too light. I can tell right now. It needs to be quite a bit darker than that. The color selector that I was hoping was in the other program worked. It wouldn't have been an issue, but I think we're gonna wrap it up there. We're getting there because we can delete. We need a blinker, obviously. So that's something else that I'm gonna look into as well because the blinker is not quite working either. For now, I guess we'll just go. I think this one was the darkest that I saw, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this in just for the time being. Let's see, RGBA. 51, 153, and 255. I'll work on getting a better screenshot eventually and getting the actual color because this is still going to be not the right color, but it's something. And honestly, we might just leave it as this because I think this is probably fine. It's not quite as dark as Brave's browser, but you get the memo. I think honestly, all we gotta do now is make it so that instead of having this guy, what it's going to do is we're going to have a span there basically. So we need to make a converter method, and that's what I was hoping I'd get to in this stream, but unfortunately we just don't have time. So next week, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take this right here and we're going to put it into a converter that will get the image and then put the image here, and then we'll also want to do vice versa. So that'll be it for this stream, this episode. Appreciate everyone that stopped by, dropped a like, so on and so forth. I know at the end it kind of trailed off a little bit, but it is what it is. Sometimes we get more done than other times. So appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream.